My name's Shell, and I am a new Beachbody coach, and I just wanted to take a moment to share my transformation journey with you. It has been a very long one, and it has taken me years to get to where I am. And I've learned a lot in that amount of time, and it's been a very emotional journey as well. And so I just want to take a moment to kind of tell you where I came from. It all started back in March of 2008. I was an avid World of Warcraft player, and I worked in an office as an admin. And so I was stationary most of the time. I really didn't walk anywhere except between the car and the store or the car and the house. And we had a two-story house, and it was getting really hard to go up and down the stairs. And so I kind of had a life-changing moment, and I decided I would apply for um, The Biggest Loser. And the application process was really, really difficult. They asked some really intimate questions, and you had to do a video and kind of show them what your life was like. And that was really what opened my eyes that this life was not sustainable and that changes had to be made. So I saw the doctor and got blood work done and talked about what kind of workout program would be best. And then I also started seeing a therapist. I've been overweight most of my life since I was about 8 years old. And my mom had me on a diet most of my life growing up. And I have clear memories of being a kid in the sixth grade and sitting down and having my Slim Fast shake for lunch while all my friends ate real food. And that was kind of the house that I grew up in, where your looks were incredibly important, and that was just how it was. And so you can imagine that it really damaged my self-esteem and my confidence. I was picked on a lot in school. Add to the weight problem the fact that I'm kind of an avid geek and a book nerd, and I was considered a teacher's pet, and I did a lot of nerdy and geeky type things in junior high and high school. And I did not have a good childhood. And so the therapist was really helpful, and she sent me to reading this book called The Beck Diet Solution, but it's not a diet in and of itself. It's actually a book on cognitive therapy, which is how you retrain your brain. And this retrains how your brain interacts with food. And so it was really great for teaching me an appropriate way to think about food, and that food is there to nourish my body and it is not there to ease my emotions. And so that was super helpful. And so in March of 2008, I weighed 330 pounds. In February of 2009, I had managed to get down to about 248 pounds. I was working as a construction admin, and that was the height of the recession, or the start of the recession for construction, and I was laid off. And a week later, I found out I was pregnant, 2 weeks pregnant, with my daughter. And that pregnancy did not go well. I spent most of my time completely nauseated. I really couldn't eat very much. I had gestational diabetes. Standing up was enough to almost make me throw up. And so I spent a lot of time on the couch, pretty much doing the bare minimum for my unemployment status. And then I came down with toxemia, and she was born in September on the 11th, 7.5 weeks early, because I was too sick. And so, as you can imagine, a new mom with a preemie, losing weight wasn't really high on the priority list, but she got to about 9 months old and she had caught up with all the other kids and she was really healthy. And I thought, I'm just going to go back to the gym and lose the weight and get back to where I was, and then we'll see what happens. And so she hit about 13 months old, and I got back down to pre-pregnancy weight, 248 pounds, and found out I was 8 weeks pregnant with my son. His pregnancy was much different, but I used it as an excuse to eat what I wanted and eat out and eat unhealthy and not exercise. And I managed to gain a pretty fair bit of weight with his pregnancy. And I carried him to 39 weeks and had a scheduled C-section in June of 2011. And with both children, I really fought with the postpartum depression. It was really hard. I fought with depression most of my life, actually. And Then in September, so Eddie was 3 months old, and my husband got a job in California. We were living in Washington, and we had to make a cross state move. Now, we're native Californians, but I really don't like it here. I loved Washington. I love the weather. I love the rain. I love the cost of living. The people are nice and friendly. It's really green. There are lots of reasons to love Washington. California, not so much. But our family was here, and we needed the support, and we needed a job with benefits. And so to California we went. And, we moved to San Jose. We're not from the Bay Area, we were from the Central Valley. So we didn't have any friends. We didn't know anybody here. And I was very isolated. We did join a new church right away, which did help, easing some of the transition. And I did, make friends, but I didn't really get out. And it wasn't until mid-January of 2014, so 3 years, and the depression really got to me. And for Christmas, we had gotten a scale, and I stepped on the scale, and I was 305 pounds. And I had sworn to myself I would never be over 300 pounds again, and I was so angry and disappointed and frustrated. And I decided that I had to change. I couldn't go back to weighing what I weighed before. It wasn't working. I couldn't keep up with the kids. I had no energy. I couldn't take them to the park. I couldn't chase them. I could hardly carry them. I hurt all the time. I wasn't sleeping well. And so I signed up for the local gym, and I knew, I had been through the weight loss twice before, and so I knew what to do and what to expect and how to get it taken care of. And so I went ahead and went back to the gym on a regular basis, and I did yoga and weights and cardio, and I did body pump and body flow, and at the tail end, right before we moved to our new location, I was doing body combat as well. And I managed to lose between mid-January of 2014 and August of 2014 about 70 pounds, which is a fairly significant amount of weight in a very short amount of time. But I was very focused on making sure that weight came off. And then in August, my daughter started school, and I did manage to lose another 5 pounds. I was the smallest I had been since before I got married. I weighed 225 pounds, but she was going to a parent participation school. I was losing my workout times to working at the school and then doing a childcare swap for my son, and our schedule was just very wonky, and as much as I tried to be really consistent, I wasn't. And my eating was consistent, and I managed to stay at 225 until about 2.5 months ago, until about May or June of 2015. And then we really started preparing to move to Vacaville, and preparing for Evie to finish up her school year and go on a camping trip. And my husband had a bunch of business trips coming up, and I just gave in to the temptation to eat what I wanted and stop going to the gym because I was so busy running errands all the time. And this morning I stepped back on the scale, and I was 238 pounds. And I'm disappointed in myself, quite honestly. I know better. I know I can do better. I've ordered my 21-day fix. It is coming. I am excited to get started. And I'm excited to share my journey with you and to share my new journey with you and see where it takes me. And, I've really learned a lot over the last few years. But most importantly, I've really learned that if you want to see progress change, if you want to see change with your body, it is really super important that you love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself for who you are right now, then you're not going to love yourself through the changes. And you have to be able to love yourself through the ups and the downs, and the ins and the outs of getting healthy. And sometimes that's really difficult, but it's really critical. I look forward to sharing more with you as my journey progresses, and hopefully we can be on this journey together. We'll talk to you soon.